What's up YouTube? I'm going to be making another quick little video on iron crosses. Now this is going to go into authentication of iron crosses. Now both of these here are authentic iron crosses. One is a replacement post World War II and the other one is a World War I wartime issue with actual sterling silver frame and what have you. Now, the thing that I wanted to go into was actually, well, it's kind of like a little story. When I first got this one, which is the first iron cross I ever purchased, which was a replacement iron cross, when I had first gotten the metal, I had this cheap little fridge magnet and I just put it on there, and yes, it was magnetic, but it wasn't nearly as magnetic as I thought it would be. And I was like, that's kind of odd. So I took a piece of paper towel, ripped it, and got a much more powerful magnet to test it with, laying the paper towel across the metal in order to protect its original finish, and then stuck the magnet on there, and of course the iron cross lifted up, and as I was holding the magnet, the cross stuck through the paper towel to the magnet. So no issues there. It was just a weak fridge magnet, but I would recommend you carry around with you a napkin of some kind if you're going to be doing this at like a, let's say, gun show and they have iron crosses for sale, or a flea market, or wherever you're looking at an iron cross in order to help you determine whether it's real or fake. Now, there are brass variants of both World War II and World War I iron crosses. Now, granted, World War II iron crosses that had brass cores are, if I had to guess, are a little bit more rare, or maybe less rare, considering that more iron crosses were issued overall in World War II than World War I. However, I have seen both examples with brass cores. However, in World War II, they had to quit making brass cores because a corporation, or not really corporation, but a company that was regulating the manufacture of iron crosses said, if you're going to make iron crosses without iron cores, you will be removed from the official list that is licensed to make iron crosses. Now, this is what I'm going to do just to show you. Take it, just place the napkin over it like so, stick the magnet on there, and it sits very nicely on there. Now, that did kind of sound loud, but again, it is protected with this napkin. Now, if that noise you heard was without the napkin, most likely I would remove it and I would see a nice little scratch on the surface of the iron cross. But as you can see, that tells you right there that it does have a magnetic iron core with it. So, and as you can see, did absolutely no damage to the cross's finish whatsoever by using the napkin with the magnet. Now, again, that is what I recommend. You take a magnet like this. To be honest, I probably should have folded that one more time, just because, for me, I'm paranoid about, metals, especially one in this nice of a condition, even though this isn't a war issue cross, but it's in, really nice shape. So I probably should have folded it over one more time, but it is what it is. Again, it didn't do any damage, but 90% of all iron crosses that you're going to be looking at, first class and second class, are going to have, actually I think all iron cross second classes would have an iron core, but at least 90% of iron cross first class awards are going to have a magnetic core, and you will want to check that. Now, again, another thing you can look at is the frame. If it looks like it's of two-piece construction, then you're good, but you have to go all the way around the metal and so on in order to tell. Now I'll demonstrate with the actual World War I iron cross. This time I will fold the napkin over one more time because I definitely don't want to cause any issues with this one. And as you can see, it sticks and doesn't want to fall off at all. So that's just a quick little way that you can tell that most likely you're going to have an authentic iron cross. Again, there are exceptions, but if it is a true iron cross issue, that had a brass core, you probably want to make sure that some of the brass is actually visible on the cross. That would be my advice. Like there's some wear, like on this one, as you can see. Now I've coated both of these with this, which is Bow Shield T9, which creates that lovely waxy finish on the cross that also protects it without damaging any of the paint whatsoever, which I like. But anyway, I don't know if you can really see that, but right there on that part of the W, there is a little wear. If I can bring that in. There you go, you can see it right there on the W. Now, if this were a brass core, that would, of course, look yellow, or, you know, brass colored. But it's not, it's iron, and that's part of the reason why I put the Bow Shield T9 on this one, was because there's actually, you know, raw iron, or not raw iron, but, you know, just straight up iron without any paint or finish on it on this cross that was exposed. So I was like, well, I might as well, because if there's any humidity, if you live in any areas that, you know, humid climate and you're a collector, I would highly recommend you use Bow Shield T9 on your iron crosses in order to protect the cores. But as you can see, but yeah, so that's just a quick little demonstration, at least how I go about testing the, you know, magnetic cores of a iron cross first class. It was just a quick little video, because I believe when I did the video on that one, I said I was going to test the magnet, you know, so you guys could see that it actually did have a magnetic core, but I never did. So this is kind of like a little, you know, substitute video for that, since I never actually did that in the video, because I guess I wasn't thinking about it. Something I can't really remember. I don't really have that good of an excuse to why I didn't. But anyway, that's just this quick little video, and I do plan to make a video on the beer stein that I have back there. Just a random little thing I picked up and I've been using recently. But anyway, so I hope you found this interesting. Really isn't, I mean, to be honest, it's really not that interesting of a video. It's just showing the magnetic properties of the cores of the iron crosses, but, you know, just something to look out for while you're collecting. And also remember, you know, the other things about iron crosses. You know, make sure you can see that it is a three-piece construction, and, you know, stuff like that. Make sure the hardware looks legit and the quality, etc. But I hope that you guys found this video interesting.